Listen, I get it. Traveling is hard enough. You have to answer tough questions like, okay, if I'm zone 7, do I crowd the entrance when they call zone 1 or wait for them to call zone 2? Or like, when the plane finally comes to a full stop at the destination, do I quick take my seatbelt off and jump into the lane right away? Or do I wait for a few other people to do it first, even though we haven't finished taxiing? Stuff like that's hard enough, so let alone adding the question of which travel guitar do you bring with? Don't worry, I got you on this one. So for this video, I just ended up getting all the travel guitars. We've got all of them right here. We're gonna talk about the differences between these. These are the Donner Hush series. I've been rocking a lot of cool Donner stuff for many years, so I thought this would be a good example of, I've got a big trip coming up. I'm gonna take one of these. I'm gonna talk about which one I'm gonna take on this trip. And you know, if you have some questions about potentially getting a travel guitar, maybe this video can help you make a purchase because these are going on sale. So first of all, they all are essentially the same kind of idea. They come in this case, right? So right off the bat, depending on what kind of travel you are, the case is like, all right, well, this is, I would say, too big to fit in a general checked suitcase. So this is more of like a carry-on stow type deal. Or if you're going on like a camping trip or a road trip, the case is perfect. Personally, I do a lot of like fly travel. Is that how you call it, getting on an airplane? Doing fly travel? So I usually have a checked bag. Now, when I take this, I actually leave the case here and I just put this, like the bigger checked bags, this will fit in like at a diagonal. But you may be tempted to be like, all right, well, what about some of the guitars where like maybe the neck collapses and you can more easily fit it into like a carry-on or something like that? The advantage of having a Hush guitar is the neck feels like an actual guitar neck, okay? So real quick, let's just break down the body of it. The arms here, these metal arms pop off. It's really easy. There's just this little device here where you pull the thread and then you pop it out, okay? So then as long as you put it back in, you pull that thread down, pop it back in, and then it's good, right? So pretty stable. The arms pop off, like I said, super easy. You might not even necessarily need to take the arms with you. They're more just kind of like for making it feel like it has like the full body of it. Honestly, when I bring this around, I kind of just play it like this, and I'm just kind of noodling for the most part. This trip coming up, I will bring the arms because I've got a little more going on than that. But yeah, you don't necessarily need to bring them with you, but like I said, they're really easy to pop in the case, and they're very small profile, so, you know, they kind of get into them. So the 4 models I have here, I have the Hush X, the Hush I Pro, the Hush X Pro, and the Hush C, okay? So I'm just gonna plug each of them into just a full range PA, so you can hear it without any of the effects. Some of these guitars have effects built in, which is really cool. So let's get right to it, all right? Let's start with, I think this is one I've probably had the longest. This is just like the regular Hush X, okay? So a lot of these, let me see here. So this one's really cool because you can go passive or active on the pickups. All of them will have headphone outs, and some of them, and they also have like just outputs for like a regular electric guitar as well, okay? This one has a pickup switcher and stacked knobs. So let me turn this on real quick. So basically the way the stack works is the bottom one is volume, and then the top one is tone, right? So very low profile, and then you go back and forth between the pickups, right? So okay, so it really, I can't stress how much this feels like a real neck. Again, it may not look anything like a guitar, and you'd be like, well, it looks kind of strange. But it feels totally like the neck of a real guitar, which I think is an improvement over, you know, some of the more like foldable, collapsible guitar type things. So again, that's the Hush X. Now this is gonna be the Hush X Pro. This is much more robust. Again, the same pretty much idea as anything else. You can just plug this in. So it also has USB. Now, this one has a little screen on the side because you can go through and toggle a bunch of like different like effects and everything. So I'm gonna hold this button, I'm gonna turn it on, right? And here, actually no, let me turn it off first because let's keep it off. So now it's saying goodnight. So even when it's off, it still acts like a regular guitar, right? similar sound to the other one. Again, these both have electric guitar strings on them. But then as soon as I engage this, I'm going to turn on the actual active component of this. Now I can go into like the banks and stuff, and I can go through like all these different parameters. I can add effects, I can go through presets, right? I can go through different banks just like on here. Let me get a pick for this part. So again, that's just obviously chorus. Maybe let's press this again. And the cool thing is, so you basically turn the knob to go to the different banks. And then you press the knob to go to the different presets within each bank. So, pretty cool. Like I said, you can get a lot of different high gain tones. I would say this one probably... I think this one might sound the best and have the most features of the electric guitar ones, but again, you can really make this one scream. You can always just go back to essentially a passive mode for this, for just something. For just just easy playing, right? So even just silent practice. Honestly, I will say I probably use these more just to noodle around acoustically than anything else. Which, this is going to bring me to the next one. This is the Hush C. The C stands for classic because this is a nylon string guitar, essentially. The cool thing about a lot of these too is that you'll notice that they're headless. Now the newer ones have the tuning kind of tool built into it. So it's a little magnetic thing that just has the little key here. And then you can make the fine adjustments Floyd Rose style, even just like, twisting these around. Sometimes it's just easier to kind of put the tool in there, and especially for this one, because this one just came and nylon strings take a minute to stretch out. So forgive me if this isn't in perfect tune yet, but it just got here and I'm gonna check this one out. So now this one isn't passive. It does use a 9-volt battery, so we'll pop one in here right now. And now it has a volume knob and then just a 2-band EQ, just lows and highs. Also, it has the headphone out right here, but another advantage of the Hush C is it has a built-in tuner, which you just press and hold the volume button, and then you can kind of see the little tuner there. Still a little flat on the E string coming in, so there we go. Again, the action, I would say, is more of like a higher classical action than anything on these. I would say this sounds the most like just like a regular plugged-in version of what a real classical guitar sounds like, because essentially it is a real classical guitar. And then even if you unplug it, right, is how it would sound. So if you want to really silently practice your finger style, barely makes any noise at all, and like I said, feels like a real classical guitar. Built-in tuner is going to be one of the advantages of the Hush C. Last but not least, we have the Hush I Pro. Okay, so this one has actual acoustic strings, and I would say with the neck and the acoustic strings, this one feels most like just an unplugged instrument that you would have a good time just bringing with and practicing. Like here, I'll just play it unplugged. So pretty silent, and then if you want to do like fingerstyle, I would also say this is probably my favorite setup just because this is going to be the easiest one to restring because the ball end just kind of feeds through the top, and then you just have essentially what are, you know, pretty traditional tuners down here. So wouldn't be concerned at all restringing this, even like putting different kinds of strings on this. But I actually really do like the ones that that come with this. Also, I think this is probably like the most stunning looking one. It has a very similar setup panel-wise to the Hush X Pro, although laid out a little bit more elegantly. But yeah, just you know, you can't go wrong. Just a lot of different features for each one. But again, I think this one looks the best. Let me know which one you think is the best, which one I should take with on this trip coming up. And yeah, let me know what kind of travel guitars you've had in the past. Thank you to Donna for sending these over. Just wanted to maybe shed some light on the differences between them because, you know, I'm always seeing these pop up and on social media and, like, you know, on internet ads and stuff. But just wanted to take a second and explain the differences. So there we go. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.